From Claire Fraser's mysterious journey through the stones in Season 1 to Wendigo Donner's misuse of time travel in Season 7. Here's all you need to know about Outlander's time travel. To kick things off, it all started when Claire Fraser found herself suddenly transported from her World War II life to 18th century Scotland. And even since, the Outlander series has kept us hooked with the mysterious nature of her time-traveling adventures. Now, let me get one thing straight. Claire didn't just magically appear in the past, she actually traveled through these ancient mystical stones at a place called Craignadoon. To be honest, how exactly it all worked has remained a mystery to both viewers and Claire herself. And you know what? That's what makes the whole plot intriguing. Luckily, author Diana Gabaldon and the original showrunner Ron Moore are pretty smart. They know we don't need a PhD in quantum physics to enjoy a good story. So they keep things exciting by not getting too caught up in explaining all the scientific details. But don't worry, because over 7 amazing seasons, they've dropped some hints that help us understand the rules of this epic adventure. With that being said, let's first dive into the requirements for time travel in Outlander. Honestly, it's not as simple as you think. In fact, you need a few key ingredients to make it happen. First of all, you can't just time travel anywhere, anytime, because both the location and the timing play an important role. Sure, everyone's familiar with Craignadoon, but it turns out there are other spots too. For instance, the Abundaway Cave in Jamaica and the Ocracoke Stone Circle in North Carolina have also been mentioned as possible time-traveling gateways. You see, there are plenty of options. Now let's talk about the timing. It appears that time travel is easier at certain times of the year. Like Claire's first journey happened right after the Beltane Festival, a Gaelic celebration that falls between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And guess what? Brianna and Roger had their own time-traveling adventures during the winter and summer solstices too. Clearly, seasons matter here. But hold on, I'm not done yet. There's one more important element that you need to keep in mind. Turns out, wearing a precious gemstone is vital for a smooth journey through the centuries. Actually, Claire and Roger came across this incredible secret while reading Galis Duncan's accounts of her travels. Even the show's executive producer, Merrill Davis, spoke about this. He confirmed during an interview that wearing a certain gemstone actually acts as a safety net. It makes sure you don't accidentally get yourself into trouble along the way. But wait, because there's a certain limitation when it comes to time travel in the show. Remember when Jamie and Claire were separated by centuries during the 3rd season? Frankly speaking, the show's timeline became both intriguing and confusing at that point. Now, here's the catch. Time doesn't have favorites. In fact, it passes at the same rate, no matter which era our favorite characters find themselves in. So even though we witness Jamie and Claire existing in different time periods, the same amount of time passes for both of them, and they age accordingly. Let me break it down further. Suppose Claire spends 2 years in the past traveling through the pages of history. And when she eventually returns to the 20th century, guess what? 2 years have passed there too. Honestly, it's a surprising concept that adds a layer of complexity to their time-traveling escapades. After all, the Outlander story operates on the fundamental principle, established by the brilliant writer Diana Gabaldon, that time remains consistent across the ages. What's more, Ron Moore, the mastermind behind the television series, shed light on this astonishing concept during an interview. He explained that when our beloved characters stay in one era, an equal amount of time simultaneously passes in the other. This means that if Claire spends a couple of decades wandering through the past, you bet that Jamie has aged a good 20 years on his side of the timeline. To be honest, this extraordinary aspect of the show not only deepens the emotional connection to the story, but also keeps us viewers entertained by the complexities of their journeys. Now that you've got the hang of these time travel rules, let's see which characters actually have such abilities on the show. Well, here's the unfortunate truth. Even if you check off all the requirements that I've mentioned earlier, there's no guarantee that you'll possess the gift of time travel. Actually, it's a selective power only possessed by a chosen few. Of course, we know that Claire's one of those unfortunate individuals who can travel through time. But she's not alone. Throughout the series, there have been hints and confirmations about other characters who possess or are connected to the ability to travel through time. Now here's where things get really heartbreaking. Our beloved Jamie Fraser isn't among the chosen few who can time travel. And you know what? This fact has given us some of the most gut-wrenching and emotional moments on the show. Remember when Frank caught a glimpse of Jamie in the 1940s? Well, according to Diana Gabaldon, that's not Jamie physically time traveling. In fact, it's more like a ghostly figure, or just a glimpse of his spirit crossing the barriers of time. Now you might be wondering, why do some people possess the ability to time travel while others don't? It's a question that still remains a mystery on the show. But fans have come up with a convincing theory that it might be an inherited trait. That's right. The power to journey through time may run in certain individuals' bloodline. Speaking of people who can time travel on the show, Claire's been at the center of this whole story. So, she first travels through the mystical stones at Craig na Dun, near Inverness, on May 2nd, 1946. And boom, she lands right in the same Scottish spot, except for the fact that it's not the present day, but May 2nd, 1743. Then, our protagonist takes another mind-boggling journey on April 16th, 1746. This time, she's heading back to Inverness in 1948, pregnant with Brianna, and patiently waiting for her reunion with Jamie. Fast forward 20 years, and Claire's at it again. It's 1968, and she's ready for her third time traveling adventure, determined to find her lost love, Jamie. But this time, she's got a trick up her sleeve. And that's a fashion-forward outfit designed to help her survive the 18th century madness. Smart move, Claire. And boy, does she need it when she finds herself in the year 1766. Now, not long after Claire ventures into time-traveling world, she crosses paths with Galis Duncan, who's a fellow herbal enthusiast with a talent for medicinal remedies. Yup, just like our Claire. No wonder these two ladies hit it off right away, bonding over their shared knowledge of plants and potions. But hey, trouble loves company, right? Their friendship takes a twist when they find themselves in hot water, accused of witchcraft. Hold on tight, because things get even crazier. Galis spills the beans and confesses to being a witch, pointing to her smallpox vaccination scar as a so-called devil's mark. Oh, and she drops a major bombshell on Claire by casually mentioning 1968, the very year she hails from. But wait, there's more to this bizarre friendship saga. Basically, Claire tries to stop Galis from time traveling from 1968 to the 1700s in order to save her life. And guess what? Fate brings them face to face again, this time in Jamaica of all places. Now let me tell you, Galis takes the idea of time travel to a whole new level. In fact, she literally resorts to darker methods, believing that human sacrifice is the key to making all those time leaps. Yikes. Well, looks like time travel runs in the family, as Claire's daughter Brianna follows in her mother's footsteps in Season 4. Yup, she also travels through the stones, all in an urgent mission to warn her parents about an impending fire at Fraser's Ridge. Now, according to Diana Gabaldon, being a time traveler is a hereditary trait. That means Brianna inherited this ability from her mama. Pretty cool, right? But Brianna's adventures don't end there. In Season 5, she decides to give time travel another shot, attempting to journey back to the 1970s. And just like her mother, she takes a time leap for the third time in Season 7. This time, she embarks on a daring search to rescue her own daughter from the clutches of time itself. Besides Brianna, there's another character who was able to time travel in the recent season, and that's Wendigo Donner. Actually, he's a Native American activist hailing from the 1960s. This guy time travels to save his people from the horrors of genocide. What's more, he kidnaps Claire in Season 6. To make things worse, he breaks into Claire and Jamie's home in Season 7 in order to steal some precious gemstones. Turns out, he ends up setting fire to the house and killing himself in the process. So there you have it, from Wendigo Donner's misuse of time travel in Season 7 to Claire Fraser's mysterious journey through the stones in Season 1, that was all you needed to know about Outlander's time travel.